It's a 3-day walk through Chumur to the valley of Kyunso. And I would think I managed that decently well, reaching the valley late in the afternoon, just as I had planned. But the cold, it was unlike anything that I have ever seen anywhere in Ladakh. And trust me when I say it, I've seen minus 48 centigrade right here on the banks of the Mussoorie. I just about managed to pitch my tent and struggled into my sleeping bag. And again, prayed that I should last the night to at least see what Tashi had told me about. Early the next morning, after struggling with the ice-clasped zip on my tent, I turned west. And this was the morning. Shivering with cold, and I just took a couple of shots and forced myself to look east, where an even grander spectacle was unfolding. Tashi, I realized, was not really wrong in thinking that he had died and gone to paradise. Taking advantage of whatever little adrenaline was pumping through me, I booted up and I walked down to the lake. That itself seemed like a scene straight out of the Arctic. I spent some time taking images of both the lakes until my batteries almost died. Here are the images now. Thank you. And once I was done with my shots, I sat up and made a beeline for Chumur. I had survived Kyunso. So the plan was very simple. Head to Chumur, find Tashi's tent, stay there for a couple of days, and head back all the way to Leh. That though was not happening on that year. Because I heard a couple of Changpas discussing about a group of other nomads who were returning to Kuyul. Now Kuyul is one of the larger valleys in Ladakh, and up to 2003, it boasted of having the largest concentration of Changpas in winter. Then there were tensions along the Indo-Tibet border and the Changpas were forced to move deeper into India. I was tired and I was out of rations, almost out of rations, but I thought I was running high on luck. I had survived the valley of the Kyunso after all. So I decided on taking a look, going to Kuyul myself. It took me 3 days to get there, across the valley of Himalaya. I reached Kuyul very, very late in the evening, and I found no sign of any Changpa. I was disappointed. I pitched tent and decided that first thing next morning, I would stage a very, very hasty exit. I didn't know it then, but I was still going strong on luck. Early the next morning, I saw one of the surest signs of Changpa activity, smoke on the Changtang. I rushed to meet them, and to say that they were surprised would be an understatement. It took quite some effort and time for me to make them understand that the only reason I was in Ladakh in the dead of winter was to document it late. And I guess I did a good job of it, because some time after that, they let me in on a little secret of their own. They had a lake from where they collected ice to melt for water. Would I like to see it? It was just a few hundred meters from their camp. I was not really keen. I had seen the Great Lakes of Ladakh, and this in comparison would be only a pond. But I didn't want to be rude either. So just to please them, I took my camera and trailed them to the lake. On hindsight, that was a very good decision. A lake, not a pond, mind you. 1/10 of the size of any of the lakes that I have seen in Ladakh. Stumped me 10 times as much as all the lakes put together. As I told you, I was very, very low on batteries, and this was just the one shot I managed. When I began documenting the lakes of Ladakh in 2006, I had a twofold agenda. First, to see if the project was worth the risk, and if it was, to document the lakes, write down my experiences, cobble them together and bring out a second book on Ladakh. Today though, all I have with me is a list of locations, of unnamed, smaller and seasonal lakes. I know that my project of Ladakh in winter has gotten a whole lot longer. Thank you.